والقدرة والكبرياء والجبروت سبحان الملك القدوس سبحان الحي الذي لا ينام ولا يموت سبوح قدوس ربنا ربنا ورب الملائكة والروح يا لطيف يا الله 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 يا لطيف يا الله
Lalu ala alimanuta badari dunya.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم كل عام وأنتم بخير اليوم 17 من 9 1446 هجري الموافق في يوم الثلاثاء ما شاء الله تبارك الله أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم on this the 17th of Ramadan 1446 Hijri, and it is the Yawmut Thulatha. It is the third cycle of the 6 cycles that we are currently remoduling. Since we are only counting the days, we are no longer mentioning the names. This is how the God, the universe, the mother universe, the prime creator wills to want to upgrade your software. Okay, Allah wants ease, but we choose to antagonize Allah. Okay, because we want to make him stupid and make us clever. Okay, so we create laws, we come up with gods, we come up with religions, we come up with all sorts of things as we descend in a state of unconsciousness, as what you and I are currently finding ourselves in a very dark patch of our level of maturity. Okay, the human cycle goes through her natural order. She comes pure. When there's a concept as a prophet, like in your case, you believe in Muhammad, others believe in Jesus, others believe in Moses. These are all storylines, people. You only believe it, but you never saw it, because you have to gain confidence. You got to gain Allah's trust. You got to gain Allah's yaqeen. Yaqeen is where you are currently in, and you can only find yaqeen in Yawmul Qiyam. Okay? Now it's no longer Laylatul Qiyam, it's now Yawmul Qiyam. You must realize that when you are in the dark, you don't know what is happening in the light. Okay? Only those in the light can see, with the permission of Allah, what is unveiling and what is unfolding and what is the promise that Allah had never betrayed. Okay? As you and I are on different lanes, one is going in and the other one is coming out. The one that is going in is looking into the dark because it's chaotic. You don't know where it is taking him. He doesn't know how he's going to die. He doesn't know where his next pitfall is going to be. He doesn't know himself. That is because he has lost his identity and his roots. Okay? So he goes back into the fire after he was resurrected. In other words, everybody, we get a qiyamah every certain amount of years in our life. Okay? By 40, 50 years, if you should be in this realm, you should pick up the change in the frequency of the planet that you are incubating in, right? Then you are called into a qiyam. Whom of you are capable of becoming mukhallaqatin wa ghayru mukhallaqatin? Okay? Whom of you are able to read between the ribs and find the Rabb? Okay? This is a natural process, and it is all stated in the Quran as what Allah had specifically revealed the book for the people of Israel, Bani Israel. We have revealed this book for the people, for the Bani Israel, أكثر شيء منهم يختلفون. Most of our dispute in this dimension of earth is that wie is slums en wie is Chris. Wie het dit gemaak, wie het dit nie gemaak nie. I think you have to change your paradigm and your criteria to understand whether you at this moment in your life know who you are. Okay? Failure to recognize your connection, your spiritual connection, your conscious connection, your conscious presence. If you don't know who Allah is, then you must know by now you are in the camp of the jinn. Okay? You cannot live through earth for 40, 50 years and come to tell me today you don't know who God is, you're still searching for a God and the external. Then you have failed your books all the time. Then you have been redeemed back into hell because you could not, you did not do your assignments, you did not do your lessons, you did not learn your stages, you did not succeed, you failed. Okay? You must be told this in no uncertain terms so that you not be given a false impression that you have reached success, that you have managed to maneuver and outmuscle Allah, that you could put Allah a kop on, that you could mislead Allah, that you cannot do that, people. Now, most of us has given that kind of imagery to our children when we put them into religious houses and religious prisons. Okay? In this new age, people, we're speaking about a new age. We're not speaking about before COVID. We're speaking about post-corona, aftermath, your post-mortem. If you did not find God in the last 6 years of your lives, then there is a dark chapter that is unfolding in your metamorphosis. Fa'alam. Know that. Okay? This is not jokes, people. I'm not here to cause fear in your life. I'm here to remind myself. I can only remind myself. Nobody can remind me but myself, and nobody can advise me but myself. This is the life. This is the true life. Whatever you have been infatuated in believing that that's a good Samaritan, that person is doing something good for Allah. Nobody can do Allah a favor, people. You have just in the Jahannam, you saw all sorts of fictitious realities. It doesn't exist. Jahannam was reopened for those who could not wake up. Okay, they have been led back into a deeper hypnosis of what the next fictional reality awaits them. Okay, unfortunately jou male wil nie vir julle die sê nie, julle paas wil nie vir julle sê die nie, julle predikante wil nie vir julle sê die nie, because hulle is almal daar so. Nou, hoe gaan hulle vir hulle uitkry en hulle gaan vir jou sê, maar nou, wat doen sy dan hierso? Because hulle is ook daar so, verstaan? Nou, hoe gaan hulle vir jou sê dat sy moet Jannah toe gaan as hulle klaar daar so in die gevangete is? Die gevangete is hier binne, broers. Okay? Now, let's go back to our forefathers and let you understand why we are so strongly connected to them all our lives. Okay? Nou, ons forefathers, hulle het gelyk groot karre. Okay? Hulle het gelyk die Valiants en hulle het gelyk die kombis sonne, het hulle soms niks Pankies gehad in die kombisie, because like die ouens moet maar sit op die beshoes of op die daarvan goedetjies wat hulle raas het vir die laities, as hulle nog gaan vir die kinders neem whatever hulle wil. En daarvoor het hulle gelyk gevaarlike groot karre, broers. In die tyd, hoekom het die mense gelyk groot karre? Because hulle het groot harte gehad. Okay? Omdat hulle nie geown het die karre, man. Hulle het dit maar net gebruik. Hoekom het dit groot gewees? Because hulle het gehad plek vir meer as 5 mense. Daar soms plek gewees vir 8 tot 10 mense. Hoekom? Hulle het nie gedink van hulle self nie. Hoekom? Het dit nie vir hulle geown nie. Hulle het dit geown. Verstaan julle wat ek meen? So, as you descend into a lower level of perception and unconscious, as you as a civilization had been destroyed physiologically, okay? Destroyed mean that you didn't know who you were. So when the Rasul, when the Prophet came, then you denied him. Then you did not acknowledge Jibreel, Mikael, Israel, Israfil. Julle was doodgemaak en julle is daai geweet nie. Okay? So you must realize by now what is your identity, people. You have digital identities, digital identities. That's why the Dajjals gives you your digital identity so that you can work and be their stock. Okay? That's your condition in this dimension at this moment in this Qawmi Ad and Thamud. Okay? You can't be a Muslim and be a kafir. You can't be a mushrik and be a Muslim. Okay? You can't be in the dark and want to subscribe to the light. You can't have two hearts in one body. Now you have been so badly saturated that you take in anything and you just say, okay, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. Now you live on plastic money. You have a digital, a digital itinerary. You believe in a fake God. You search for a fake akhirah. You perpetuate a lifestyle of idolatry but call it religion and put a cherry on it calling it Allah and His Rasul. Allah is bari. Allah is innocent of our nonsense, guys. Let us not fool ourselves. We are comfortable, compliant in the Sharia of the Jahannam as we are in conscious at this moment in time. Okay? What saved the organic, the authentic human beings, tribes of the heavens with the will of Allah and the support of our ancestors that has been on earth for billions of years, okay, whom we are connected, when we come into Madian, okay, we find that roots, that sparks, that connection. Everything is in your Quran. Nothing has been omitted. It has been obligated. Okay, it has been mansukh. The Quran that you knew, or the kitab, the chapter that you read before COVID, there's a new chapter that is downloaded. But when you have damaged your hardware, okay, your hardware is your brains, it's your kidneys, it's your liver, and it's your colon, okay. Now, and your lungs, of course. Now, most of you have damaged, your colon was damaged in the sanitization that happened in the last 5 years, when you had exchanged water, pure water, for something which was chemicalized. That was the invasion in your bodies, okay. That was also how your minds were uproot. It was chemicalized. Okay, it was digitalized. Sorry, and that's how you lost your place in the new age. Okay, it's important. You must take cognizance of how you do in an exams, people. Okay. Don't ignore and see, okay, ek het hier gefail, ek het daar gefail, ek het hier gefail. Ek gaan concentrate op die points. Maar moenie net dink julle het gepas nie because julle is so-called Muslims nie. People, we are in a different world here, guys. We are calling ourselves things, but Allah doesn't recognize it. I'm saying I'm a Christian, but wie het gesê ek is 'n Christ? Ek of Allah, okay? We had done it by ourselves, and we had made ourselves feel great, okay? It's all a deception. You gotta find it by yourself. إنك لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي. Do you think your parents can take you to Jannah? Your parents can't even take themselves to Jannah. How are they going to take someone else to Jannah? Your mindsets has to come back to your authenticity. You got to find your natural selves here. The laws of nature, it governs this paradigm of a reality. You've got to understand the laws of the sunnah of the universe. That's the laws that you're not going to find outside of yourselves, that you're going to only get from your cultural orientations, okay? Nobody sells that. Your mothers, they are born with it because they are angelically supported by the heavens, okay? Now, but also forefathers like us, ons gegaan het uit, daar was daar nooit shortage van plekkie in die karry, because een boeta in die dorp, hy doen baie werk, boeta. Hy is maar die Uber vir almal, vir al die members, vir al die deres, because hy het nooit pride gekry om te voel hy's brekerig, hy's kwaai, hy's bitter as die ander nie. Nee, almal kry jou lief saam met hom, waarever hy gaan, whether hy gaan nou masjid toe, of whether hy gaan nou, waarever hy naartoe gaan, en vir hom is it like sy duty om te neem vir die wat hy het gekry. That was the camaraderie in this neighborhood, in this culture, because of where we come from. This is before the advent of where we have found ourselves now so saturated and so believing in gods that don't exist. People, you must re-register yourselves, because you are now digital, you are digital identified, you are identifying yourself with the Dajjal, okay? That's who you are. You are digitally programmed. You are no longer organically and authentically. You cannot find a natural God if you have a digital identity. Understand what I'm telling you, people, okay? So you should by now realize that when God speaks about those who has claim that they believe in him, but they don't believe in him, it's me and you, okay? We had fraudulently created gods and religions and claimed it to be under the name of submission, Islam, Sunnism, Shiism, Qadian. That's not Allah's deen. Allah's deen is the natural order that is founded in your nature, where divinity is residing forever. You got to find the truth inside, because that's where Allah resonates the truth. When you know you're speaking the truth, but nobody else knows. Okay, when you know that you are lying and nobody else knows, but your truth, your internal nature knows that you are betraying yourself. Now, once you continuously live and perpetually go into denial, you start believing your lies. Okay, that's where you become jinn. You are in the dark space of your conscious, unconscious, subconscious reality. Most of you are residing there. Your wars, you will never win your wars. You will never get forgiveness. You will never find truth because you are searching for it in a in an unauthentic place, and that is how you lost your way. That is why most of you are al-maghdubi wala-dhalin. Most of us, wallah, there's no Yahud and Nasara. There are only those who had grasped the message, found the messenger, and understood the risala, the message, stood up for the qiyamah, and then could live in the truth of space. That's the only thing that survived since the COVID reset. Okay? We are conscious. We are not our bodies. Those who have been still caught up in the physical dimension of having to only find the low vibrational rationale, you have not learned your lessons of life. You did not pass. That's Allah's will. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just speaking openly as to how I see the chart. Okay? الطيبون للطيبات مسلمون للمسلمات والمؤمنون للمؤمنات. This age that you are now coming in, you will see that this is the Furqan. We will automatically, naturally split off. This was the sea that Musa crosses. This was the age of the Christ conscious. This was the age of the Ahmad Muhammad. You knew you were infatuated with the physical man. Now you got to find the metaphysical form of him. What did you find? What were you attracted in him? Why did you give men more rope than what you gave Allah? Why didn't you want Allah to run the affairs? Why did you want a man to do it? All these things are going to now be spiraling in your children's minds, because remember, they will bring your house down. They will destroy your idolatry lifestyle modules. Okay, this is the fairness of the universe. You can't send somebody to hell except that you get the same in return, and that person gets his salvation because he has not committed anything but said that he believes in Allah. Okay, that's how Allah receives the new age, the new children, the Ghulamun Alim. Okay, the entire Quran has this entire story word for word. وَفَصَّلْنَا كُلَّ شَيْءٍ تَفْصِيلًا. Everything about your journey, everything is done, but none of your leaders understands it. They are understanding another narrative that was created by your adversary, and that is what they are following. So they are sending you directly into Jahannam, but you have no idea, and you're still praying, and you're still praying to a God that you have no idea that God exists inside. He doesn't have any validity for anybody to give him recognition on the outside. Okay? It's a catastrophe you people are living through. A catastrophe. And our ancestors, they are like trying to assist us to get out of this mess. Okay? But we just think that we are justified to be better than someone else. And then once the war exists, you see, your conscious, your vibrations of conscious are very low as a civilization. That's why it plummeted you into COVID. Okay, your body died. That body you lived in, it couldn't keep you surviving. Okay, so it had to put you on an artificial respiratory intelligence. That is your new artificial intelligent reality God in your lives. There are many civilizations that breaks out of the out of the spiral, out of the humiliation that you are living through, and we, and you hear about the Tartarian, yani the Atlantis civilizations, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu civilization. These things don't exist in the physical realm, people. It exists in the higher conscious. You cannot see it because Islam is ghaib. Alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaibi, man. Okay? What you have been infatuated was the attraction of the jinn tribes, who wanted to concretize something which was not in existence in the higher realms, because remember, they cannot go up, so they must make fake things in the bottom here where you would believe factually that is how it was. Alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaibi. You have to meet the Prophet. You can't wait for history to come and Allah to forget about you. These things happens as you go through your stages. Everybody can meet the Prophet. It's not just because of a history and a date. It's just how civilizations were destroyed in the past, and we go back to that civilizations and we go and reaffirm our allegiance to them. Okay, and that is how we continue looping in that perpetual, infinite dungeon of hypocrisy. Okay, most of you live there. Most of us live there. Get that straight out of the horse's mouth. Okay, it's just about conscious. Nou onze voorvaders, broers, as hulle eers gaan na die Gadat toe, dan het almal gekom na die Gadat wat jy kar geheer het. Nou, hoe het hulle gekom na die Gadat? Because almal wat 'n kar geheer het, het groot karre. Dan het hulle nie gehoef om baie loans te maak en baie skuld te maak en niemand was brekerig gewees nie. Almal was gewys hulle self. Almal het in die kar geklim. Hulle het maar die mense soms gesit in die boothoek, right? Dan gaan hulle. But hy was die way hulle hulle het gevoel mekaar. Hulle het nie verby mekaar gery nie. Hulle het mekaar lief gegee as hulle verby mekaar ry en hulle een wat die kar geweet het, was nie bitter as die een wat die kar geheer het, because hulle het nooit hulle self gesien deur die lenses van ownership, brothers. Hulle was nooit so gewees. That's where we get our authenticity from. They taught us these things. So we can go without it, without having to feel that we lost anything, because we are already rich, we are already abundant before that, because we know who we are. We know where we reside in conscious, okay? So those qualities is what our ancestors had, consciously, with Allah's kudra, with the niya, met die mantra, met die salawat, whatever hulle gedoen het hulle regtig getry om dit in al die kinders te gaan doen. Almal van ons, because ons het almal gesien hulle. Niemand kan sê hulle het nie vir hulle gesien nie. But as 'n mens begin te yourself believe that jy is slimmer as yourself, and that your shahada and your certifications and your masters and your PhDs and your goedes and your geld en gelde, if that really messes your peace mission, that is when you cannot find the Prophet of peace. That's why you couldn't find the Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He was here, wallahi. Allah take my ruh away if I tell you the Prophet wasn't here. He's here, he was here. I couldn't understand how people say they believe it, but he didn't come and visit them. But now, how come do you believe, but he didn't get him to come and visit you? He didn't exchange with you. La tarfa'u aswatakum fawqa sawti nabi. Was your frequency so low that you couldn't attract him? And that's for me a very strange situation. But soos ek nou sê, it's not something that our people used to go out somewhere to find it. It's now natural, inquisitions. It's natural in us. It is, we in this side of the world, we always had it with us. We knew, when we stood for salawat, then we got the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam coming right through. Okay? The infatuations that you had come into believing the Hollywood reality and whatever you see on that, you become so attached to that fictional a virtual reality that you give your life, whether it's for the soccer, whether it's for the war, whether it's for whichever nation, you completely forfeit yourself and your emotions goes to the noble winner. Okay, so most of you and us has been yani, devastatedly. Yani, we lost the war yani, to our enemy. Okay, this was the exams. The exams is real. Okay, the emotions are real. If there's a war internally, you will attract a war on the external side. Okay, if there is sickness inside, you will find disease on the outside. Okay, this is the law of nature. This is the sunnatullah fil ard. This is the laws that governs the entire dimensions of all. This is how the laws will of the universe will come to you on if you are ready for your qiyamah. My qiyamah is finished. You must still go to qiyamah because you don't know what qiyamah is. You think you must die. You were dead, but you couldn't wake up. Okay? MashaAllah, there is again adhan time. May Allah give you insight, people. May Allah give you insight. We cannot guide people, but we are making you aware so that you cannot have a excuse that Allah did not bring any insight. May Allah give you acceptance. Jazakallah, grandparents, our grandparents, our ancestors, nur, and give them joy for having given us this beautiful wisdom, mashallah. Barakallahu feek. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا مصطفى كل شيء لله يا نورا من نور الله يا مصطفى